It's time for the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Each week, Trading Stocks Made Easy demystifies stock trading and investing so you can profit big. And now, here's the host of Trading Stocks Made Easy, the wealthy investor, Tyrone Jackson.
And hello, everybody. It's Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, and welcome back to Trading Stocks Made Easy, the podcast, as opposed to the movie, the TV show, whatever it is. Hey, I know now, if I don't show up with an episode this week, you guys go berserk. And I'm going to tell you, we've missed a week because I've moved into a brand new production facility here in Burbank that is 5,000 square feet. So not only can we produce stellar podcasts in our recording studio, we also have a television studio down the hall / soundstage / big old green room / production facility. So I feel right at home in my new home, and I thank you for your patience. Now, let's talk about today's show, which is extraordinary. We have superstar trader Andre Blake with us today. Mr. Andre Blake, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, Tyrone. Thank you. Thank you for that.
And
superstar trader thing. Thank you.
And not only are you recognizable and famous in the real world, in the wealthy investor world, people come to the live classes and they go, I want to meet Andre Blake. and then I have to.
Yes, this is true.
I have to explain to them. He's in New York. We're at the Hilton here in Los Angeles. You can fly to New York to meet the guy. But he's not here in Los Angeles. How does that feel when I say that?
It's hilarious.
Okay.
I think it's kind of funny because, I'm just here living in my own skin, doing my thing, trying to get on another TV show,
Now let's talk about that. Now, we always say, and I think it just gets us out of friendship mode, we've been friends for a long, long time. Before we had kids and serious girlfriends and all. So what happens is when we do a show like this, we try to be as professional as possible. Is that right? So no silly inside jokes. No.
Right.
We try. Listen, we're on the air. Let's be professional as we deliver this material. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So anybody. But it's probably going to seep out from time to time.
Something's going to happen.
So that we know. So folks, we apologize in advance, but we're going to be our professional selves here today.
Yes.
And we're going to try to behave. So let's talk about, because you were actually there when I started the Wealthy Investor Program. It was the Wealthy Artist Program in those days. Let's talk about
five of us in a little room in New York, I believe
it was actually 12. I had 12 people show up.
That many? Okay.
And I was trying to figure out how to teach stock market trading and investing, and we all just figured it out. And it was really terrific. But I want to talk about you for a second because you have been a professional actor, voiceover artist for, is it 30 years now?
Just about, yeah.
Okay. And so you've been in so many, I can't even name the amount of movies that you and all the celebrities that you've worked with. However, the one that keeps reoccurring is this scene that you do with Denzel Washington in a movie called Philadelphia. Tell us about that.
I was working production, actually, and my mother was a film producer. And she said to me one day, they were shooting in Pittsburgh. This was on Silence of the Lambs.
Right.
I just have to give a reference point to how I get to Philadelphia.
Okay.
Anyway, so my mother tells me, go pick up this actor. He doesn't fly. His name's Phil Bosco. Great. I pick up Mr. Bosco, bring him to the set. I meet Jonathan Demme. We start talking. We have a little conversation. And he says to me, you are your mother's child. You want it yesterday. I said, why not? Why not?
Okay.
So I said, listen, you do what I do. You just have more money and better actors. I say that because at the time I was making a short film.
Yes.
So I get there, I tell him this, and he's like, okay, well, let's put your money where your mouth is. Why don't you come be in my movie? I was like, okay.
And we're talking the legendary Jonathan Demme, not some student film director.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I ended up going back, and I was in Silence of the Lambs, Tall Memphis Cop.
Mm-hmm.
And since my mother had been working so long, when the Philadelphia script came along, I was able to read it because she had it at home.
Okay.
So I read the script and I said, so Jonathan, you know, please consider me for A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like whatever. I just, I want to be part of your film family. And he called me up and he said, there's a scene in the film. I think it'd be perfect. And it was really interesting because it was a pivotal scene in the film for Denzel Washington's character.
Mm-hmm.
And I am just always in shock that people still remember, even today. I mean, we're talking about early 90s.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And people still are like, I know you from, wait a minute, because let's face it, it's a tent pole event. That film just holds so much resonance and is so revered, and the things that Tom Hanks did and Denzel did, and at the time, and the whole AIDS crisis and all of that to be in something for me, and to have a pivotal scene in a film like that for me was amazing. I feel like it kind of changed my life a little bit. So
it was a very big movie, and anybody who ever goes back to watch it will find Andre in that scene. Now, I'm trying to keep it professional, but there was one moment, and by the way, because we met in a movie called Lean on Me, right? I think everybody knows that. I was in that film, and I think you were working production on that, and you're in that movie as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, but there's one story, even to this day, which we still tell. It's clean. It's after you and Denzel do a take, right? You know where I'm going? It's actually, and I don't know, they're resetting the lighting or something wasn't right. And you say to Denzel Washington, like, hey, Denzel, if you need me to give you a little bit more whatever, just tell me. And you said Denzel looked at you as if to say what? Do you remember what you said?
I think it was something along the lines of, I don't need nothing from you. I'm Denzel Washington. You know what I mean?
And like, you always tell me the story. He looked at you like, if I need your opinion, I'll give it to you.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And no disrespect to Denzel, because we all know him, we love him, and all of that, right? But you were feeling rather confident. Let's just say it that movie, right?
Well, Mr. Washington, if you need something from me as an actor, please
believe me.
Feel free to let's talk about it.
Right.
You know.
Right. So anyway, I love that.
Boy, get out of my face.
But you were much more comfortable with Julia Roberts in what's the movie you did with her? Yeah, in Stepmom. Tell us very quickly about that, working on that film.
Again, another one of those moments where I was like, okay, somebody pinch me. Just somebody pinch me. I'd actually done a pilot for a TV show about a bunch of lawyers, and it was called For the People.
Yes.
And the producers and directors of that, Christopher Columbus and Michael Barnathan, were also the creative force behind Stepmom.
Yes. So
we did the show. The show ended up not getting picked up, and I was still in touch with these guys because, when you shoot a TV pilot together, you're spending some time, you're working some stuff out because it's early in that creative process of, okay, what is this going to be long term? So I had a relationship with these gentlemen, and was fortunate enough to get this role with Julia. And she was amazing.
Yes.
She was amazing. Nobody can say anything bad about my Julia Roberts because you're going to have a fight on your hands.
Yeah.
I'm just
you guys became very good friends, actually.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. And she's just, sweet as pie, for somebody who's such a big movie star.
Delightful human.
Now let's fast forward because you've done all these commercials. You're also a voiceover artist. You just finished 6 months on an NBC show. Tell us about that show.
The name of the show was New Amsterdam on NBC. I want to say it was on Tuesday nights, doctor show. And I came onto the show at the end of season 3 and basically all of season 4. And I played Dr. Claude Baptiste, the chief of surgery on the show. And the storyline was that I gave a young surgeon a promotion, only to find out that this same young surgeon was having an affair with my wife.
Yeah, you gave him a promotion, and he gave your wife what?
Yes, whatever she wanted. Yes.
Well, no, he gives her a baby on the show, and then nobody doesn't that happen?
yeah. Eventually,
Okay.
it ended up going there. So
Okay, so
yeah, it wasn't exactly fun for me because now I'm that doctor who can't perform. Nice,
right.
nice.
And
I'm kidding.
and we talk constantly, right?
Yeah.
So I remember when you were shooting, you go, "Oh, it was such a great day on the set," and we would always say, "Well, how much of that money is going into brokerage account? Like, how much of that you're going to actually put in trade?" So let's shift careers because now you're a famous big guy and you're a recognizable actor and all that. But what is impressive to me, I've introduced a lot of people, as you very well know, and so have you actually, to the stock market because of the financial freedom aspect of it and the residual aspect of it. You have been trading for well over 15 years now in this wealthy investor style.
Okay.
What initially attracted you to it, and why do you just stick with it and make all of this money?
What attracted me to it was I was walking down the street in Manhattan and bumped into my friend Tyrone. And he said to me, "I'm going to teach people how to trade in the stock market for residual income. You want to come through?" I was like, "Sure." I mean, at the time, wow, yeah, the kids were babies.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. The kids were babies. And, when you're a parent and you realize you have mouths to feed, your brain opens up into other possibilities.
Yes.
Because even though things were going well, I want to say at the time I was the voice of BET. That probably came later. I think that probably came later. But to have some place to go that's mine, where I could generate income for myself, because being in the film business, you understand residual income. You go, you shoot, you do a voiceover on a commercial, or you shoot a commercial, you get paid for the day, and then the usage, and then the holding fees, and then more usage, and you get used to working once, and it's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yes.
And so the stock market and the wealthy investor style of trading spoke to me because it made sense. That's what I'd been doing, just from a different perspective, if you will.
Correct.
And
we talked earlier this morning, and I said, "Hey, I want to know your 3 biggest takeaways from trading, because you've made hundreds of thousands of dollars, Andre, hundreds of thousands over that 15-year period. And,
Sure.
and you've been through at least 3 major pullbacks in the market. So,
Oh, yeah.
And you've lived to tell about it. Let's talk about, and very quickly so we could use our time, what are your 3 biggest takeaways as both a trader jumping in and out of stocks and as someone who holds stocks at the same time? What would you pass on to this audience?
Oh, wow. It's such a great question, because I think at different times in your trading journey, you go through periods where you're better at one than you are the other, or the circumstances in your life. You may be in a space where you need to generate more cash, and you're not really in a wealth building modality. You're in I need for this account to generate as much cash as it can. So I think one of my big takeaways with that in my thought process is that, and you used to say this early on, I don't think you say it as much, but if you're trading 3 stocks, one of the 3 will betray you.
Oh, yes, that is true.
One of the 3 are going to betray you. Like, at some point in time, you are going to lose. And it took me I got to be completely honest. It took me, I'd say, a good 10 years to get comfortable with the idea that I'm going to lose.
At some point, somewhere.
At some point, somewhere, I'm going to lose.
Right.
But what's interesting is, as you trade more, you start to understand the necessity sometimes of an educated loss.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to, I guess what that speaks to is another thing that I've learned from doing this. Another one of my big takeaways is patience.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be patient. Are you in this long term or short term? And that goes for your short term trades and covered calls that you might sell, whether it's, depending on the time of year, how close you are to earnings, whether you're selling short or selling long. Sometimes you're in a modality where that 30-day covered call is your bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
But then there are other times when the market's moving faster, when you can get away with a 7-day or a 10-day or a 2-week. And it's just as lucrative or as the longer dated call.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are times when where things aren't as crazy in your world and you're like, okay, wait, I've abandoned this. I need to wealth build. My account's out of balance. Let me take some of these premiums that I've collected and money that I've earned and increase some positions in my long-term dividend paying stocks.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of thought modality and understanding that dividends are real. If you own lots of shares of a great Dow component that pays a dividend, that's not gonna hurt.
Correct.
I mean, it's really not gonna hurt you.
Yes.
So, yeah, those two. Okay, I won't betray you. Right.
Uh-huh.
Patience.
Stay out of dry shipping. That was one stock that was moving, DRYS, that was moving crazy. And you had your father in that. And the two of you were like doing this tag thing when I was like,
And not for nothing, I blame him. Okay. That wasn't mine. That was his.
Okay.
My father is a very, very smart man, one of the smartest people I know.
Uh-huh.
And at 88, he still claims that he's going to be the smartest old man ever. But at the time, he was, he's from Trinidad, so he has his little accent. Andre, we have to trade dries. I was like, okay. So,
and it was in the Dow, so it made sense, right? It's not like
it made sense.
It's not like you stepped out of discipline,
right?
Wink, wink.
And this thing was rocketing. It was a rocket ship.
Yeah.
And when things are going well, you kind of forget that you could have a tire blowout on you,
Mm-hmm.
And something happened in that company because it was just growing too far and it was running too far too fast.
Yeah.
And the bottom fell out. And I think at the time my account must have been 60% dries.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to tell you that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I took a beating.
Yeah.
But again, you live and you learn and you understand that, okay, I made a mistake.
Yes.
But I was still selling covered calls and still generating income.
Mm-hmm.
The system works.
Yes.
I just got a little too, big for my britches.
Someone out there is counting and they go, okay, what's the other third piece of advice that you would give them? What would that be?
It's to be consistent. I think consistency, in all honesty, is my third big takeaway. You as you grow in your trading life, some will betray you. Got it. Have to have patience. Got it. But you got to know that and see the power in the small wins.
Okay.
And like I said earlier, you want to trade smarter. Sometimes you have to sit on your hands and not trade. Because if you see all of the opportunities in front of you, pick a couple. You don't have to eat everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you try to do that, then what happens is you run up your margin. And then the stock that you're in that you use to run up your margin, all of a sudden becomes the one that betrays you.
Mm-hmm.
and then you're in trouble. But had you been smart about it and not pushed and said, okay, you know what? I made $2,500 today, just as an example.
Yes.
I made $2,500 today. I have some money in my account. I could go back and set up another trade and push and maybe, sell this short dated covered call or whatever it is that you'd want to do. Instead of possibly thinking, I made $2,500 today. Let me be patient and see how the market moves over the next couple of days and see where I want to re-enter.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you will do better if you take a breath. I think sometimes in trading, when you're sitting here by yourself and you're clicking your mouse, you get hypnotized by the ability to do what it is that we do. Knowing that if you got a phone call and let's say your TV blows out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in this right now.
Yes, what happened to you recently? Yes, sir.
Right. And I thought to myself, wow, that TV had a great run. 65-inch curved TV, bought it 12 years ago. I was like, yeah, I'm getting my TV.
Mm-hmm.
And now it dies. And I thought to myself, okay, things in the business, let's face it, have been slow. Like I said, I'm not on a TV show right now. And I thought to myself, well, you just made a couple $1,000s this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you take some of that and go buy yourself a new TV? It's not going to cost me $1,800 this go round.
Correct.
I can get a new 70-inch TV for $600.
That's correct. And by the way, Friday's expiration day, and Monday there's another round of covered calls coming in.
Ding, ding, ding,
so
ding,
therefore,
ding, ding.
you've solved that problem in advance.
Solved that problem. Oh, and did I mention that I'm actually in the cycle? Oh, no.
That is correct. For those of you who don't know, at the advanced levels of the Wealthy Investor Program, we make sure that there's money coming in every week, whether stocks go up, go down, or stay the same. And we call that process the cycle. So,
I have all of those things working in my favor.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are, I think, my three big takeaways. Another thing that I wanted to mention as a 3A maybe.
Yes.
Is the more you do this, I remember you said to me, it's going to get boring. You said this early on in the program. You're like, this might get boring for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if boring is the word, but you forget.
Okay.
You forget that you have this tool because you use it so much. It's kind of like, have you ever been in a situation where you're like, where's my phone? Where's my phone? Where's my phone? And it's in your hand?
Yes.
I liken it to that.
Yes.
It's trading and selling covered calls and volatility trading and spreads and all of this stuff have become such a part of my life and so second nature that it's like the phone that I'm looking for that I already have in my hand.
Yes.
And then you have to periodically remind yourself, oh, right. Why am I worrying?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
I have some place where I can go that is controlled by me, not the studio who doesn't want to pay my rate, not, the ad agency who thinks my voice is too whatever, or any of that stuff,
mm-hmm.
or, not an ex who needs alimony or the kid who needs new tires for the car, whatever it is. You have some place where you can go, where you can click your mouse and make it rain. And that kind of, to have that power and that system is something that's pretty special. I think it's really pretty special. And I'm grateful for it every day.
Stated like a true superstar. And we're going to come back with more Andre Blake right after you take a listen to this.
Want to increase your stock market trading profits? Then you need to start your monthly membership to WITradeschool.com right now. Don't understand how to write covered calls for monthly income? No problem. Simply review Tyrone's latest stock trades in our video library as many times as you need. WITradeschool.com is all about helping you get the financial education you need to earn money in the stock market and change your financial life. Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, has helped his students earn thousands of dollars per month trading stocks online from home. These are people just like you. So what are you waiting for? Follow Tyrone Jackson's red-hot stock trades and investment strategies today. Don't wait. Start your monthly membership at WITradeschool.com right now.
And today we're talking to superstar trader, actor, entrepreneur, Andre Blake, not only about his career, but also about trading in the stock market and what it means for him. Now, I'm going to touch upon a lot of topics here very quickly because I know you and I talk about them all the time. And you were mentioning right before the commercial break that trading is a permanent part of your lifestyle. I happen to feel the same way. But you also telling me a story this morning about trying to figure out a trade, and your son, sometimes you invite him in to help you either make a decision, or you want to make sure that you are a positive influence so that he grows up with a certain amount of financial freedom. Could you just tell us about that?
Sure. From time to time when I trade, if my son is home, he's 20 years old, wants to be an electrician, so he's working through all of that. But I've always been clear with both of my children that, listen, you both have brokerage accounts. Right now, I'm just holding long-term Dow component dividend-paying stocks in there for you guys, so that over time, when you're ready and you've had more instruction from me, that you'll be able to trade your own account. But it was funny, like this past week, I lost an uncle, and I thought to myself, when it's my turn to go, what do my kids get? Well, wherever brokerage is, they're going to get that, because at the end of the day, this style of trading allows you to, in essence, use your principal to generate more monies. So that account, just by nature, is going to grow.
Yes.
Like Denzel said, I'd never seen a thing behind a hearse?
Oh, the hearse, a U-Haul behind the hearse.
I never saw a U-Haul behind a hearse.
Yes.
So you can't take it with you.
Yes.
So clearly, I want my son to understand what it is that I do, and in all of its intricacies, so that when I'm gone, that well, if you will, is still a source where my family, my children, my grandchildren can go and drink.
Yes, and for those of you who are new to this concept, that is called generational wealth. So if you're trading for yourself, and one of the principles embodied in the Wealthy Investor Program is that we always help other people, you are not only trading for you, but you're trading for future members of your family who take to this idea of financial independence. So I have to score you high on that.
Thank you, sir.
Two things that are really curious when it comes to you. First of all, you still come to class. And I notice when we're doing these practice trades, we call them drills, you are one of the first people to reach out and help someone new. For example, I can recall 60 days ago, we were live at the Hilton in New York, and this one woman came in who was inherently skeptical about the stock market, and we're doing a drill. And as I get off the stage and everybody was happy with the lesson, you were leaning over and go, well, if you trade it this way, you'll make more money in a faster period of time. And she looked at you like, oh, why do you help people like that? Why not just go, I've got my thing down, I've got my trading style down, I've been making money in my SEP and in my cash account.
Yes.
Why take those extra minutes to be kind to someone like that?
Okay. I don't mean for this to sound the way it's going to sound, but too bad. I have this friend of mine who helps people learn how to trade in the stock market for residual income. And, the idea of actually helping someone who I see on the fence. I really like to help those folks who I see on the fence, because some folks who are negative Nellies, I'm not going to waste my time.
Right.
I actually have a friend who I brought several times to the program.
Yes.
And, you shall remain nameless.
Yes. And can I tell you my favorite part with this friend?
What's that?
And I'm up on stage and I'm killing it. I'm getting into the volatility trading. You can make this money. And this guy's wiggling in his chair because he's trying to figure out how could this all be a scam. And I think to myself, look at all these people here at the Hilton sitting around you. Yep. Do you think they all think it's a scam? And he's trying to figure out how this just could not be true. And you and I got the biggest laugh at the end. And super nice guy. I think he made his money in real estate and all that. And he's just trying to figure out how there's no way you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars on the stock.
No way.
And he's got this battle in himself. And it took everything I had, Andre, to not play that moment from the stage. I was like, that's too much of an inside joke because I'm watching this guy wiggle. And we must have had 20 minutes with that after it was over. Oh, yeah. I think we went to lunch or something. And it was great. For sure. And people do battle themselves, but yet at the same time, so thank you for your kindness that you extend to others. And at the same time, you've really, because I am your friend and teacher at the same time, you are such a willing student. For example, last year was a breakthrough in spreads, especially for me as the teacher, right? And there were times when I have to call you and I go, get up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You just got to go wash your face and get up because I'm just having an extraordinary moment. And we discovered a style that makes so much money. I don't talk about it up front because no one would ever believe me. And it's based on a legendary trader by the name of Paul Tudor Jones. And I am now a fan. And it just makes hundreds of thousands of dollars consistently. And you will always engage with me on this higher level thinking.
Yes.
Why are you so willing to grow, to try, to take those phone calls when I go, just get up? Or I need a half hour, right?
Oh, I could tell you that's easy. Okay. That's easy. Back when I was younger and playing basketball, you got better by playing with people who were better than you are.
Okay.
As an actor, you become better by working with people who are better than you are.
Okay.
I remember in college working with this one girl who had a photographic memory. It used to make me crazy because I'd be working hard to learn these lines. She'd look at that page and be like, okay, let's go. So once the paper is out of your hand, if you will, to use an acting reference, once you're able to put the script down, it frees you up to really start to explore what's going on with this character. Where are they? Because the words aren't in the way. They're just a part of how you express. All that being said, when you call me at 1:00 in the morning, get up. Okay, I'm like, all right, I haven't heard from Tyrone in a couple days, which usually means he was in the lab. And if Tyrone was in the lab and now wants to share something with me that he has
discovered while he was working, right?
Yes. Yeah. Then I need to go wash the coal out my eyes, get my pen and my pad, and be present because I'm about to hear some stuff.
Yes.
And you've never disappointed.
Yes. And I know.
Even if I couldn't execute the trade.
Correct.
Having the knowledge that that type of trade exists. And then I start to see where, hey, wait a minute. I can do that trade. And then you do it once. And then you do it twice. And then it starts to get boring. And then you call me and you're like, hey, do you still? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah, we had that discussion this morning about Netflix trades. And we're talking about sophisticated option combinations.
Yes, sir.
And you are very good with derivative math. Like even at 1:00 in the morning and I go, no, you see that, can you find the Delta 20 on the screen? And you go, oh, okay. And I go, and do you see the in the money Delta 70? And if we package that together, coming off a spread, and you have these moments, you're like, oh my God. I'm like, now do you understand why I'm calling you?
Yes, so I do.
that kind of pair trading is amazing. I feel challenged in two ways because I think, well, how do I teach this to help people? And number two, this is like, because we go to Maui every year. I say this has to be while we're away. I can't teach this while people are coming to class from home because they just won't give it. It's just too dazzling. They won't give it the time and attention. Right. And it's beyond the average person's comprehension of getting a 700, 800, 900% return every 15 days or 30 days or whatever it is. But you are so willing and you are so open to broadening your education. Have you always been that way as a person before
I think
trading?
so. I think so. I almost liken it to having the ability to speak another language, but so few other people who speak that language. When you get the opportunity to speak it, you jump at it.
Okay.
So, when we have those conversations, it for lack of a better word, it excites me in a way that other things don't.
Right.
Understanding these systems and understanding these trades, and for me, having the ability to understand the math and see how it works, is exciting for me. That works for me.
Yeah.
So, if I get the opportunity to do it, because let's face it, the kind of high level derivative option conversations that we have, I can't really have with a lot of people other than you.
Well, that would be correct, sir, because derivatives trading is not discussed at the average barbecue. I think we both know that.
It's not,
Unless it's at my house.
That's a whole other
we
conversation.
have had that, right?
Because then we're going through 6 or 7 different stocks, and well, if you look at the leaps and then from it, and it's all, and we're all over the place. Yeah, it's awesome. It's like chess.
Yes, it is like chess. Yes, it is.
It's chess, and you're discussing high level moves. I mean, this is king. Let's call it the King's Gambit. Okay.
Yes, I'll take that. I like the sound.
King's Gambit. Let's go.
Hey, listen, we're quickly running out of time.
Yes,
we're
sir.
in a bull market right now because the Fed is lowering interest rates and we came off that major pullback, so on and so forth. I don't know about you, but right now there's so many incredible trades. I have to pick. I just have to pick. I can't do everything, right? Because I don't work for a Wall Street firm. I hit my targets and I'm good. How do you feel about what's happening in the market right now? Are you delighted? Are you confused? Are you excited? What's your state of mind?
I'm excited. I'm excited about the growth and the possibilities, because it seems as if whatever, let's face it, COVID did a number on us, and that COVID pullback was massive and painful. And I feel like we're climbing out of that, and everybody's ready for spring to be strong, and we throw off the cold of winter and let's get after it, because I still have faith and confidence in the US stock market. I mean, it's been around for so long. I don't see it going anyplace. And let's face it, weeklies are great, but real soon, next thing you know, it's going to be dailies. 3 times a week you'll be able to sell a call option and generate money. And even if you're just mimicking the dividend, I mean, there's so many opportunities.
Yeah.
Like we've said before 100 times, the stock market is one game with a million different ways to play it.
That is
and
correct.
Once you find your way that works for you, why not?
Yes.
Why not?
Heaven on earth, right? Heaven on earth.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Even though we have these conversations, and by the way, we did a YouTube video that people really just loved because I had Wealthy Investor TV. And now that I'm in the new production facility, you are coming out to do another episode. We've established
Let's go.
that. Okay.
I'm ready.
So even
I know where you live.
you
Let's go.
do. You do know where I live. You do know where I live. And so I was going to make a joke about Malibu, but I was like, no, stay professional.
No.
Okay. Andre, even though you've been on this podcast countless number of times and guests like you and real students, and we all love each other and we think we've discovered the same kind of goal together, there's always someone listening who goes, that's great for Andre Blake, the actor. That's great that he and Tyrone have this wonderful dimension to their friendship. But does this really work? And I don't think it's going to work for me. What do you say to that person who, in essence, is still struggling with fear around learning how to trade and invest?
Okay, so if that's the case, we have to look at the word fear. And fear is basically forgetting everything's all right. If you have the ability to take some of your hard-earned funds and put it in a brokerage account, and then have the unmitigated gall to actually go out and sell a covered call and generate income for yourself, how dare you make passive income? Question is, how dare you not? Does that make sense? Or how don't you? Like, how don't you? Why wouldn't you do that? People always say, well, There's a whole bunch of a lot of people don't do that. Who does that? I do that. I know of at least 30 people in New York who do this. There's a whole bunch of folks on the Wealthy Investor site, whether it's, online or in person, who do this. You don't know what you don't know. So come and find out and come change your life because it's real.
And hopefully you won't be wiggling in your chair.
With your arms crossed.
With your arms well-dressed, trying to figure out how it doesn't work.
Defiant.
That is correct.
No.
So hopefully we hope everybody comes with an open mind because your life can change in major ways when you have that financial education. Okay. Thank you so much for coming in today and being a part of this. And I have a hunch you'll be back on this podcast at some point. But next stop, we get you to LA and back on Wealthy Investor TV. How's that?
Cool. Hey, I keep telling you, I'm trying to be the Ed McMahon.
I know you say that all the time. Well, now that it's this huge enterprise on the internet and all that,
maybe we'll see.
I think I'll
get the little podium with the mic. We tell some jokes.
Exactly. But right now I'm in LA. You're in New York. You're in New York. So I'll end it this way. My people will be in touch, Hunter.
Very good. Yeah, very good.
Hey, man, thanks so much for being here. And I thank you, the listening audience, for listening to Trading Stocks Made Easy. And if this show helps you, share it on social media. You never know whose life you could be changing. I'm Tyrone Jackson from thewealthyinvestor.net. I'll see you next time right here on Trading Stocks Made Easy.
You've been listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. While you're on iTunes, be sure to click the subscribe button and you'll automatically receive our next episode.